Hello and welcome to a new Satisfactory series. I'm going to be playing on the experimental build so I can utilize the randomization functions because I think that sounds like an interesting way of playing the game. I've never really completed the game, so maybe I should have done that before, but using this series and uh, like this playstyle as an excuse to kind of force myself to come up with unique solutions and uh, unique ways of like solving the different nodes and stuff we're getting. So I'll just give the session a name, and I'll also be skipping the onboarding as I've been through that many times already, so let's go. Okay, so we just spawned in and I've kinda made myself a, like, call it a small plan, I guess you could call it, or like a few objectives I would like to try to complete in the first episode, so I'll just paste them in there. So we can quickly go over them. So first one is to collect 3 drop pods. I'll just mainly do this for at least one alt recipe. I usually like going for cast crews in the early game, and also the 6 inventory slots.
Potential
And
edible
then the third one is just
Eating it and
more
surviving does not count
to
as a valid field
gain a
test
bit
and
more
does not
resources
generate
from
enough data
unlocking
for
or
Fixit to make an informed
the
decision.
dismantling
Store this
and
potential resource for later use.
gathering the stuff that spawns around the drop pod. The next one is just
Potential edible collected.
setting up
If
a
consumed before
basic
authorized is compatible
base,
with the human digestive system by Fixit,
then
the consumer
from
is
there we
responsible for
would
any and all consequences. Store this
just gather the
potential
resources
resource for later
to
use.
go through the different tiers, and after that my thought is to unlock solid biomass, or biofuel is called actually, and kind of make a small semi-automated power plant, and at the same time probably just tidying up the hub area, placing down some foundation and just making the area a bit more pretty, but probably not gonna put too much time into it because might end up moving the hub sooner or later if we find like better spots. And then fourth objective I have is to set up a quite basic reinforced plate, modular frame and rotor factory. But I'll see. Just a thought for now, and then of course I hope we can end up the episode by completing phase 1. So then in the next episode we'll focus on setting up automated power, so coal power, and then probably like starting to get into steel and different stuff. So I'll just run around and gather up some basic stuff and get the drop pods, so I'll probably just
this mineral is composed of the same chemical elements as
skip a bit
quartz and
around
may
in the
yield
start
similar
until we
industrial
find somewhere
functions.
to settle
Store
down,
this
or
potential resource
probably a lot
for
in the
later
first
use.
episode. Okay, so we're just coming up on the first drop pod, and this one I know requires 40 milliwatts of power, so I will be able to do that by just creating 2 biomass burners and just throwing some leaves or wood in them. Then we're able to open it, and the materials should be available around here, or from the one thing I already deconstructed, we should have
blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous,
enough
and a thickly
wires
plated
and
skull and spine,
all of that
suggesting
kind
it
of
is
thing.
proficient at
So if we
inflicting
go
and
here, we
receiving
can
blunt
place
force
down
trauma. Preserve the remains for
2
later
biomass
study.
burners like this, and just link both of them to a power pole, just throw some leaves into it, and then we can connect it to this one, and then we can open, grab it, and then I'll dismantle everything.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered
over
hard
to
drives for future
another
analysis,
one.
which
I'm
may
pretty
result
sure
in
there should be
benefits to the
a
Fix-It mission.
another drop
Speculation
pod
as to why there
over
are crashed
in
freighters in your
that
Fix-It
area.
designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
So just arriving on the second drop pod now. Don't quite remember what it needs, but I don't think it was anything too hard for us to be able to make. Let's see, so just dismantle everything we can, because it just gives us a lot of free resources. It needs nothing, that's even better. So now we have 2 hard drives. So in theory I'm probably okay with 2 actually. So then we can focus on starting to set up our base. I just quickly want to check that we got everything laying around here. No, there's some more stuff there. Let's grab everything we can before we go. Seems like that was okay enough, so let's actually change this to 2 and then we can 0. Then our next goal will be to try to find a place with both iron and copper. So I found this place, which is quite nice. It has 1 normal node, 1 impure iron node. Here we have a pure limestone, and the mountain node there we have some copper. I think this is a nice place to just set up the hub for now, and then we'll try to just expand to a basic setup. And I'm gonna start by sending off the base building. We have gotten the resources from the drop pods earlier, so we can send it up now. Now I'm just speeding you through me setting up a basic setup for both limestone, iron, and copper. And then I'll just give you a quick overview later. And then to power this setup, I end up using 2 biomass burners, as they provide 30 megawatt each compared to the biomass burners on the hub, which only provide 20 megawatts each. Okay, so just a quick overview now. We have set up a super basic iron plate setup. We have concrete being made here, and then we have copper wire being made over here, and then we just have to wait a bit now, so we're able to turn in logistics part 2, and then we'll be able to expand this to also making rods, and then when we get the map and can research that, eventually we should be able to take the iron rod line and push it into the alternate recipe for cast screws. So I'll just wait a bit and then we'll be back once we can turn in the milestone. So finally got enough resources to turn in the milestone. So we'll turn that one in, unlock logistics, and then I will
Milestone reached. Conveyor
focus
belts
on
can now
improving
merge, split,
this
and
setup.
lift to save space and enhance the
Also
productivity of your factory.
that setup.
Fix-It encourages you to consider investing in
We can't
verticality when
really
it comes to factory
improve this one
logistics.
currently because we would
If
need
you
a
feel
Mark
stressed
II
by this
belt to
complexity, imagine yourself
be able
on the
to
shore
handle
of a
at least
vast and calm
90 a
ocean.
minute.
Breathe
And also
in,
the iron, no,
visualize all
the
the
copper
people
up here
relying on
is
you.
a
The sea
impure
is
node,
made of
so
billions of
in
faces,
theory we
each staring
can
at you with hope and tears in
improve
their
it, but
eyes.
then we would need to
Breathe out,
use power
feel refreshed
shards.
and focused on
So
your duties.
I quickly went and looked a bit around for some other nodes, and we have a node like back in the corner here, which is a normal copper node. So my thought is maybe to move the copper setup over there. Of course it will be like a bit away, but I think that's just how the nature of like this mode it is. And also I found a pure SAM node here, which is quite nice. Because that also means we can start to delve into the alien technology quite quickly.
The strange alien matter, colloquially known as
I'm
SAM, seems to be in its
not
dormant
too
crystalline
worried about
state,
that one right
meaning it
now.
won't
Also,
break
this
down
one
your
is
body into
impure,
its
which
base
is
atomic components
unfortunate.
on touch.
But
This living matter is extremely
let's
versatile
see
and
if
has
we can.
countless applications. Store it for
Oh,
later use.
he didn't want to. But yeah, the one over here is a normal node, so I'll probably just make a small copper setup over here. So it will be a tiny bit of a run every time I want to go there, but I think that's just how it's going to be. There's also a impure Ethereum node there, so can probably utilize that to be able to get the I don't actually remember the name, but the tool that allows you to basically glide along the power lines in the Ethereum research. So I think that's our new goal, is just completing this one. So in the meantime I will just basically set up a quick setup here to be able to handle capture quantity. So I think we'll just do it as simple as possible. So see, so I can go there. I don't have more plates, but we should most likely have, yeah, we have 90 made there, and then we can connect this one into here, and then we can also expand it out a bit. So actually put this tiny bit out here, since I'm going to need to extend into containers. Let's grab a container. And a container. This one, it will pick up this, and then this one will go into one more, which will be making up screws for now, and then we can simplify it by adding the alternate recipe when we unlock it. So there, this one goes into there, this into here, and then we go this one making screws, this one making rods, this one also making rods, and then we just need to place a splitter over here. So I think I'll do it just like this, and then we'll take this one straight into there, this one straight into there, and this one into there. Just need to put all of these up into there, and then we can just place a pole in between here. Let's do all of these. We are still within our limits of power, so that's also quite nice. So I'll move the iron setup then over to there. I'll just do that off camera. The main thing I'll do is just basically setting up one which produces wires, another one which produces the cable from like half of the wires, so it won't be like fully efficient yet, but it will be good enough for now, I would say. Okay, so now we have a quite basic copper setup, which is on a normal node, so it's using the 60 per minute as efficiently as it can. So we have 2 making wire into making 15 cables a minute, and then we have 2 making 60 wire, which will go into each of their own containers. So I think with that we can call ourselves done with the setup of our basic iron, copper and limestone. So next I'll do now is to just probably wait a tiny bit for a bit more wire so we can turn in the field research, and then we'll build a hub area and also start building the semi-automatic biomass burners. So I'll come back once that's done. But enough to turn in our field research and unlock the man, and then the next one I'll focus on getting is the obstacle clearance. We might have enough resources already. Let me just see. Yeah, we have enough to turn this in, so now we would just have to wait for the growth pod to return, and then we'll be able to turn that in. And now the next thing we're gonna do is to like make a more tidy hub area and set up a semi-automated power source. So using biomass burners and solid biofuel. Just before we do that, I actually do want to create a man and start researching our drives and the different materials and things we've gotten. Okay, so just place it here for now, and then I think I will just quickly start researching the different materials we have found.
Crystalline mineral was a previously
This one, so it's a spare.
strange alien map.
Oh. Let's get our hard drives. Okay, so I will be back once I'm done building the hub area. Okay, so it just returned, so then we'll send the obstacle clearance. That done, now we can fill these 2 containers with leaves and wood, and they'll automatically create the biofuel we need. Just need to start the system by putting in some biomass to allow it to create the first initial biofuel. So It's not like the most effective system since this one needs 120 and it only gets provided 60 a minute. But for the wood part, it's producing 300 biomass a minute. So I just felt like splitting it into two. With this setup, we can now just wait and fill it up as we need. And they should be able to sustain us until coal power. So let's just quickly, after finishing building this foundation, let's have a quick overview of the hub area. So I tidied it up a bit. It's not like the most amazing looking. And then over in that area we have the SAM node and the copper area. And my hope is to eventually build a connection between most of these things, but I think that's a bit for a later stage of the game. So for now, this will have to supply us until we get to the coal power. What we're gonna do is to look into unlocking this one. So I think, yeah, we don't have enough right now, but I will just manually craft the things we need. So, 10 more reinforced plates, so I'll just quickly wait around and gather up the resources we need for this. So finally gathered enough resources to send off logistics marks 2. And the next one will start focusing on the parts assembly, so we can get the assembler and start to do this step, which is the automating step of at least reinforced plates, and then I think we'll look if we'll be doing both of these. But at least automating reinforced plates for now. So I would say for now, kind of done with hiding the hub area. I'll probably just off camera make it a tiny bit prettier, because right now it's not the most amazing thing, but it's functional. I'm going to upgrade this one so it makes more concrete by upgrading the belt to tier 2, then splitting it off into 2.6 constructors, so 3 constructors, one will be underclocked a bit, then we'll be producing a lot more. Eventually my hope is that most of this stuff will be connected, but I'll see. Okay, so I'll just gather up the resources to be able to send off parts assembly, and then we'll look into doing the next step of setting up some simple automation for that. Now we have enough to send this one on. So we can start to
Milestone reached. The assembler can produce
plates.
more complex parts.
Yeah, reached both the drives now, so as you can see, I kinda got the things I wanted. I'll choose the 6 inventory slots now in this one, since that's what I prefer, and then hopefully that opens up cast screws in the second one when I rescan it, because I don't need the other options. There we go. This bottle looks a bit interesting, but I think I'll just go for cast screws because I prefer that option a lot more, and I know I'll use it since it will reduce the amount of constructors we need. Now we're also unlocking Ethereum, so we can go towards the zip line that we need. With the zip line, it will be a lot easier to travel around the map in the early game. I forgot to record it, but this is the reinforced iron plate and rotor factory. I made this diagram using Satisfactory tools, and so basically we're producing 10 reinforced plates a minute, 4 rotors a minute, which should be enough, just right in the start now, so we can produce the smart platings we need to complete phase 1. And when we complete phase 1 now, we can then go to tier 3, I think, and unlock a coal power, so we can focus on setting up a automated power system in the next episode. When that is done, I think it's like time to figure out like how we want to set up stuff here, because in this area we got quite a lot of iron, but we also got some coal, so probably it's a good idea to unlock steel next after that, and then we can look into trying to set up a decent steel and iron factory in this area, because we have a lot of iron nodes, one pure limestone, and then I think a normal coal node in this area too. So off camera, I quickly got the quartz necessary to be able to research down to the Blade Runners, which I think will help us be able to traverse the map a bit easier, as I think that's quite important for us, because we'll most likely have to move around a bit to find the purities we want, due to everything being random. And also we might have to run around to see if we can find areas where there are maybe multiple of the same node close by, because there's no guarantee we'll find that. Now we're crafting our Blade Runners, and then before we go exploring, my next goal now is to complete phase 1. So I'll build a small platform close by where we can place down the space elevator, and then after placing that down, I'll just hook up a quick assembler which is making the smart platings we need, and then we can send that off, and I think that will be a good way to end the first episode. So then I'm just quickly setting up the assembler, nothing too fancy, I'll just manually feed in the resources we need, since we only need to make 50 smart plating for the first phase of the elevator. Okay, so now we have 50 smart plating, meaning we can turn these in to the space elevator. So let us place these in, seal it, and set it up as soon as we can. Once we are done with this, we can start to gather the resources to send off coal power,
Welcome
which
to
I
the
think I'll
Project
do at
Assembly
the end of the
Pioneer
episode,
Progress
because I'm
presentation.
pretty sure we have
Congratulations,
enough
the Phase
already.
1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, after highlight, new
So we send it off now and unlock phase 2, and there's... Okay, now that we sent that off, we'll be unlocking tier 3 and tier 4. I'll go over and see if we can't just unlock full power with the stuff I have in my inventory right now. And then we'll be ready
Phase 1 of
to
project
set that
assembly
up as the
completed.
first
This
thing
is only the
in
beginning of
next
project
episode.
assembly, the first step towards saving the day.
Oh,
You have
now
performed
that we sent
adequately
that
so
one
far.
up,
Reminder,
yes,
not
we'll see
only
if
is
we
Fix-It
can
saving
send up
humanity,
full
it is
power
saving all of
already,
Earth,
and then
including
we can
kittens and
just start on
puppies.
that next
It is
episode.
continue the work for their sake.
Seems
Continue
like,
the work
yeah,
for
we
Fix-It.
have enough
It is time to start the
everything,
work
so we
on
can
phase 2
just
of
send it
project
up
assembly.
right now. Then that will be what we start on in the next episode.
Milestone reached.
Okay, with that sent off and cold power unlocked, I think this is where we'll end the video today. In the background you can see how the base is currently looking. I feel like we got a lot done in this first episode. I think in terms of maybe the viewing experience and like the whole episode, maybe it wasn't the best. I'll hopefully you have some feedbacks or ideas of what I need to do more of, less of, etc. And then I'll do my best to take these improvements into consideration for next episode and going forward. It's my first time really recording a proper video and editing it, so there will definitely be some parts of this video which are not that great, and I hope you'll uh, just give me some ideas and ways I can improve these things. Maybe I should be going more in depth on what I'm doing, or maybe like skipping more around even. So just focusing on what I'm building, not like all of the small parts. But with that being said, I still hope you enjoyed the video and you'll be back for episode 2 if you feel like. Uh, if you do like it, a like and subscription would be much appreciated. I won't ask too much for now. Bye!